speech, or is this just me saying?
Your general introduction. So it could be a speech, it could be whatever you want it to be. You got
Okay.
3 minutes.
All right, my speech. So, good evening, everybody. I'm very excited to see all of your faces. It's amazing to see how exciting this is for all of you, just as exciting as it is for me. It's truly wonderful to see each of you gathered here, really understanding the significant impact and influence that comes with voting for the ELT, Executive Leadership Team of our organization, the Akron Urban League Young Professionals. As your prospective secretary, I envision collaborating closely with the ELT to bolster organizational efficiency. Additionally, I aim to facilitate seamless communication between committees, streamlining the structure of AULYP, and handling essential administrative tasks that are crucial to our foundation. Simply put, y'all, I'm here to handle the tedious tasks with all those big words. But seriously, I'm eager for your trust and even more thrilled to contribute my skill set, learn, and take on any forthcoming challenges. Now I'd like to share some encouragement. If you're looking for positive change, enhanced professional growth, skill development for our members, and a commitment to transparency, I urge you to cast your vote for Lauren Marsh. Lauren embodies an exceptional candidate for this role. When I joined the YPs nearly a year ago, Lauren's influence played a pivotal role. Having served under her co-chairmanship for the membership committee, I witnessed her passion for not only growing our membership, but also ensuring their lasting engagement. Lauren's commitment to our professional advancement is unmatched. She seamlessly connects those in need with other YPs, fostering a sense of community and also growth. During our Join Week this year, where we crushed our goals, I saw Lauren affirm an individual who doubted their status as a young professional, emphasizing that it's about making a daily impact within our community and striving for excellence. Some individuals have a skewed outlook on what they think truly being a young professional is. Lauren embraces individuals where they are and empowers them to thrive. This is the kind of leader that we need, a true servant empowered to guide us forward. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I just want to thank all of you to getting us to this point of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals in a pivotal moment in history. All of us collectively around this room has built this organization up to what it is today. So first off, I just want to thank you for being here and your attention. I'm Darnell Davis Jr. I serve currently as the Vice President for the Akron Urban League Young Professionals. I want to start off my journey by telling you a little bit about myself and where I come from and how we ended up to this point, right? And so originally I'm from McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Was born in a project community and with parents who didn't even graduate high school. After looking at my parents and seeing their trajectory, my mom was all about education. My dad, unfortunately, was in and out of jail for the duration of my life, but my mom was passionate about education. Later in life, I was able to attend middle college high school, where I got to attend college alongside with my mom. She was able to graduate with her bachelor's degree after not even graduating high school. I came to Akron with a journey of getting better and a passion for education. I went to the University of Akron. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in political science and criminal justice. I have a master's degree in public administration. When you talk about this organization and what we have in our future, when I first got the call from Shalita about 3 years ago, Shalita, myself, the secretary and the treasurer was all that was still left over from the previous administration. I served as the co-chair of the Personal and Professional Development Committee. We had a vision that this organization can go from good to great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to discuss how we take it from great to excellent. And you know what the center of this plan will be? Is to put the members at the center of all that we do, ensuring that the individual needs of our members are met. And through my skill set of building collaborative teams, innovating processes, I believe that I am the best candidate to move the organization forward. But of course, this won't just take me, right? That it's going to take all of us collectively as a whole, as we continue to thrive and to grow as an organization. It will take Sharonda, it will take Lauren, it will take Ashley, it will take Candace, it will take Sharonda. It will take Leslie. It will take all of these different people to bring their skill sets together to move us from great to excellent. Because I truly believe in the mission of the Urban League Young Professionals of building people's personal and professional development, allowing them to attain different facets of life through education, and allowing for entrepreneurs to grow through the thriving programs that we have right here at the epicenter of that all that we do, which is the Urban League. And tying that together and ensuring that each one of our members have the opportunity to get involved in whichever way they see fit. Through my analysis and me developing...
That's your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies of the League and men of the movement, I stand before you today and I want to thank you for all being here. I've got a deep sense of purpose and also a vision for the collective future, and it's an honor to be able to address you as a candidate for president of this remarkable organization. For those who I haven't had the privilege to meet, allow me to introduce myself. I am Lauren Marsh. I am serving as the clerk of Summit County Council. I'm a political consultant, and I'm a single parent to a busy 4-year-old named Chani. I've had the pleasure of being a part of this organization since the beginning in 2017, and I currently serve as a co-chair for the membership committee. And as a chair, I'm happy to say we did not meet our goals. We exceeded them. We are responsible for over 90 plus young professionals in this organization. We re-implemented membership orientations and so much more. If you talk to any member that is a part of our committee, they will let you know that we've been shifting the culture. We are more than members. We've created a family dynamic, and it's rich with passion and purpose. As the only candidate who has ever attended a national conference, I've been able to do the same on a much larger scale. I've connected with multiple chapters nationwide and have created meaningful relationships that are going to assist us with being more effective and connected. So look around the room. Our journeys are both thrilling and challenging. We juggle being parents, working full-time jobs. We look for new ways to hustle. We still make it to the barbershop or beauty shop and then make a way to give back to our communities regularly. We are impressive, and I have no doubt that together we can begin changing the culture. So venture on me as I show you my plan. Number one, we are going to expand our community engagement. Beyond our own growth, we have a responsibility to give back to this community. And I will champion community service initiatives, ensuring that our organization positively impacts those around us. And let's strengthen our relationship with small businesses and create a stronger focus on supporting the Akron Urban League's initiatives. We also need to start improving network and collaborations. As president, we must increase our ability to network and utilize and foster the relationships of the members that are here. And we must increase transparency and inclusion. We must have open communication so that your voices can be heard and restructured. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, now we're going to move into the portion of the forum. We're going to ask some questions from the moderators. These are previously determined questions from the committee. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the questions. So I'm working off 2 devices here. My timekeeper had to go be a mommy, so you guys will have to bear with me, okay? All right, so the first question, the order in which we'll answer it is Darnell, Ray, and then Lauren. Okay, the second question that we're gonna ask is going to be Lauren, Ray, Darnell. I'm gonna give you them 2 at a time, okay? Y'all got it? All right, I'm doing that so we can keep the time, okay? So, the first question is, can you name the tenets of the Urban League, of the National Urban League? And Sharonda, you can start answering that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and by tenets, do you mean the key pillars of the organization?
Yes.
Yes, and so the key pillars of the organization, I think I'll start off by talking about the Urban League Young Professionals, right? And so the Urban League Young Professionals are key pillars of our organization. It's personal and professional development, community service, and engagement of the community, right? And so as we're looking to be more engaged, you look at the different programs of the Urban League itself. So you have the after school programs, you have the Young Leadership Adult Council, you have business development centers to look at the entrepreneurship function of the pillars of or the tenets of the organization. So those 3 pillars of service, of education, and of business/entrepreneurship and advocacy is the main tenets of the organization. Yes.
Answer before your 2 minutes is up. Okay. Next person.
Piggybacking off of what Darnell mentioned, in terms of one of the tenets that I'd love to focus on is engagement. One thing that is very important on the membership committee side is that we not only capture our members, but we engage them continuously. So that's making sure that they are professionally growing, whether that's having events that hold their attention, if it's professional growth, if it's something like financially focused, if there are different things that'll, if we can have networking opportunities. Again, for instance, our Join Week that we had earlier this year, we had several different events that we not only cater to the professional growth, but also networking opportunities and also social opportunities as well. Beyond that, education being important, and also noting that, to kind of, again, Lauren's point earlier, that everybody is a young professional, and also just making sure that everybody feels that they're a young professional. So surrounding them and creating that family atmosphere. I can say that for myself personally, that was something that I was searching for with the young professionals. I wanted a community of people that I could grow with, but also those that I knew I could call on if I needed them, and when I needed them. That's something that's important to me because as a military brat, I grew up going from place to place, and I was never really stable in one area. When I became rooted in Akron, I devoted my time to making sure that I could find that in an organization. So a few of those tenets, again, that are very important to me are professional development, making sure that our community is engaged, and also furthering their education as well.
Excuse me. I didn't know that you wanted us to expound on what I thought you wanted us to stay on. Was that a question?
That's the question. So I'm not going to interrupt you unless you go over your 2-minute time. So let's not interrupt the other candidates with questions about the question, okay?
Oh, I'm finished.
You finished? Okay, sorry about that.
Am I allowed to recoup my 1 minute?
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes. One of the great things about attending the National Urban League Conference in Houston this year was an opportunity to be able to hear from the national president. And the national president said that it was important in order for all of the Urban League young professionals to make sure that they were continuing to connect to their affiliate and the initiatives of the National Urban League. So the National Urban League has 5 tenets, and the tenets are justice, education, health, it's housing, and entrepreneurship and employment are together on the line. And one of the most important ones that, of course, we keep seeing the Urban League fight the battle for on a regular basis is the criminal justice side, the equity side. And I think it's great that recently we've also entered onto that side. You've seen us marching for Jalen Walker. You've seen us creating conversations in order to vent our frustrations and figure out a plan in order to come together and to make sure that social justice is something that we do see sooner or later. So we want to make sure that we are continuing to connect back to those initiatives in the next year so that we can make sure that we are falling underneath the umbrella and the requirements of the National Urban League Young Professionals.
Darnell, I'm gonna give you your minute, but 1 second, let me restart the clock, okay?
Appreciate it.
Okay, go ahead.
And so just expounding upon those tenets of the organization and how we must live those out inside of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, right? And so as my role as being the committee co-chair of the Personal and Professional Development Committee, it was always about growing the skill set and the capacity of our members, right? But today, we must be the go-to organization for Black professionals in Akron and beyond to grow personally and professionally through service, education, and advocacy. And one of my initiatives as being the vice president of this great organization is I was able to set up a committee structure that allows for those tenets to be executed, right? So you can have a dream about these tenets, but you actually have to put them into reality about operational excellence. And so if you look at our programs committee has significantly increased the amount of community service opportunities that we have. And please sign up for the next one we have coming up at Curb Perk in partnership
That's
with
your time, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. Do you guys remember the order I told you? Okay. Would each candidate explain what our Urban League affiliate does and how you believe AUOYP can support that mission?
The Akron Urban League honestly serves underprivileged communities specifically, a lot to do with us and multiple different programs. If I was going off of the 5 tenets, I would say that the Akron Urban League focuses a lot on education and employment and entrepreneurship, and also on justice, and finding ways in order to create equity. And I do believe that the Akron Urban League Young Professionals definitely does have a way of making sure that we can be a part of that solution for our community. Through professional and personal development, we do offer that regularly. I do think that we can offer it more often, and then maybe we start opening up that more to the community. We also need to find a way in order to partner with the Guild as well, in order to continue to further their efforts as well. There might be a small age divide there, but at the end of the day, all of us will at one point have to transfer over to the Guild, some of us sooner than later. But with that happening, I think that will make things more cohesive as we go forward. We don't want people who are underneath the umbrella of the Akron Urban League to feel like there's a separation. We are all in this together. I know that we're a movement by ourselves, but we're a force when we're together.
I think that partnering with the Guild is something that it is extremely important because I think about when, and we're still kind of on the other side of the pandemic, but there were so many different small businesses, so many people that lost their jobs and lost their way and didn't know who to turn to, but the Akron Urban League was able to kind of had that handout and to assist them to get back to where they needed to be and even then some. And I also think of those that develop small businesses that have come and thrived out of the pandemic and have been able to thrive because they have that access to the Akron Urban League. With the Akron Urban League professionals and the Guild coming together, there will be that strength in numbers so that there isn't that division, and that just looks like us coming together, even if we are, again, holding different events that serve as value to each other. If we work together, we can definitely accomplish so much more. I also think about the fact that we, on the membership team, we've actually started partnering with the Guild to, in the future, have different events. And with that, it's been so surprising and enlightening to see how much they are doing in our community and how much input and insight that they need from us. Them being, I shouldn't even say them being older, but they, in speaking with them, they said that there are a lot of things in terms of like our ability to easily grasp, applications, technology, different things that we know that we can extend to them, make things easier for them and work together ultimately. So I think that us being under the umbrella of the Akron Urban League, them showing us the way, and then also us showing them a way in a different light. That's it.
Okay, before you speak, Darnell, the crowd has asked that you guys take the mic out of the stadium. Okay.
That's easier, y'all. See, we all need a little bit of ice.
Start me, Ray.
Okay, so when you look at the Akron Urban League in particular, I want to focus on the points of education, entrepreneurship, and advocacy, right? And so me as the vice president, I have the honor of serving all the committees, both Lauren's team as the membership committee, the programs committee, and the marketing committee. And so when you talk about the Akron Urban League Young Professionals as a whole, we are a committee of the Urban League. And so if you look at the different programs that we have to figure out how does the programs continue to benefit the Urban League, and how can we add value to what the Urban League is doing. So one of the innovative things that we implemented, it was under Lita's leadership, which she's an awesome leader. We started placing people actually on committees of the Urban League. So for example, our treasurer sat on the finance committee. Our secretary sat on the development committee and helped plan actual events. I think partnership is going to be key, and collaboration is truly a strength that I bring to the table. And so in my day job, I'm the director of strategic initiatives and leadership at Business Volunteers Unlimited, where I oversee partnerships, fixing nonprofit boards. And so when you look at our opportunities to partner, the affiliate is really important, right? How do we add value to the affiliate? How do we look at the...
And then when we come, the next question after that, the opposite way. So Ray will keep it. Come Ray back. Okay. What previous leadership experience do you have that can translate into the position you seek with the Akron Urban League Young Professionals?
I do have a lot of leadership experience that I'm proud of. Most recently, one of the experiences that I had was being the Regional Party Affairs Director for the Ohio Democratic Party. It was a unique opportunity in order to be able to speak with all of the politicians, stakeholders, and many of the nonprofits that are in Northeast Ohio, and pulling them together and allowing them to draw resources off of each other and find ways to communicate with each other regularly. Before that, I also have had opportunities in order to work in consultations, politically and business-wise, which has been amazing. We can draw it even more closer to right now. As the membership chair of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, it's been amazing to be able to co-chair with Vic and to be able to see all of the growth, everything that we are bringing to the table. We're doing much more than we did last year, and I know that we're at 3 events that are going to be happening at the end of the year. The membership committee is in charge of, and I'm happy to be able to say that that's underneath my leadership as well. Some other things that I've done in the past is I actually founded and started Firestone Dance and Step Team for over 14 years. So many of you have come through the program. Many of you have seen the program, whether it be in your church or at community events. And it's a great opportunity in order to pour back into the youth of Akron and for them also to get opportunities in order to visit different colleges and to get the mentorship needed as well. So lots of leadership opportunities that I've had will be brought back to us in order to make sure that you know everything that I've done and to make sure that I'm actually helping you all with getting to the leadership skills that you want as well.
So my previous leadership experience that I think is most relevant to this organization is me being the co-chair of the Personal Professional Development Committee for 2 years. So inside of my committee, we had about 15 members. We were going strong. We put in a diverse array of events that added value to the personal, professional capacity of our members. And then when you look at me as the vice president of the organization, so the vice president's role, again, is to be a advocate and a servant leader to the different committee chairs and really work with the president to get jobs done and really execute her vision. So inside my day jobs, again, I'm a director in a nonprofit. I'm currently a professor at the University of Akron in education and government, and I also teach at the University of Akron's Upward Bound programs, and it's all centered around education, right? But I think the most important thing is my background, is that the people that we are serving at the Akron Urban League is me, right? As I look across those projects and I see the kids running across the street and playing tag, that is me running in the projects of McKeesport, Pennsylvania. And I think that there's a certain amount of grit. I think there's a certain amount of appreciation that comes from that perspective. And I bring that type of mentality when working for the membership of our organization. So when you talk about leadership, leadership is crucial, right? It's about servant leadership. Now, as the vice president, you're not the face of the organization. You're working collaboratively with all of the different co-chairs to ensure that the ship is up and moving, right? And the ship is afloat. And so over the last years, that was really a challenge of ours because no one came forward to be the committee co-chairs when we took on this role, and I took on the role as vice president. Shalita asked me to be the vice president. So you had to build, that building is leadership.
So my skill set translates into the secretarial role because my background is in hospitality. So I have about 15 years worth of experience within the hospitality industry. I started from the ground up. I worked front desk, general manager, area director, revenue manager, everything to lead up to my current position today. I'm a customer success manager for a commercial strategy platform called Calorie Labs. All that essentially means is I work with people on a daily basis. I figure out what their needs are and I fix them. I'm able to help them stay organized. I'm able to help them tackle different tasks that they have on not only a day-to-day basis, but at the end of the day, I'm helping hotels make more money. And that behind that means I have to be extremely organized in my day-to-day. I have to make sure that calendars are set. I have to make sure that appointments are in line. I have to make sure that I'm ensuring that I'm meeting with them on a regular basis. I have to make sure that their goals that they set initially at the beginning of the day are being met at the end, that they feel like there's a return on their investment, and their investment is their time that I spend with them. Again, helping them to make their hotels more money. And I call it the customer success journey. The way that translates into this position is that I want to make sure that our organization is set up for success. I want to make sure that you all aren't doing the tedious tasks. That's my job in this role. And I want to make sure that you actually feel like you're being heard. So anything that happens with the committees that need to be set up or scheduled, any type of organization that needs to be done, any ideas, event things that you might have in mind, I want you all to feel free to be able to come to me and ask me about those things without feeling like you're not getting things done. You have to go, around me. So I want to be that first person, that face that you see, to make sure that it does go up to our higher ups, our president and our vice president.
You all have been really good about keeping that 2 minute time, so I applaud you. I'll give you a little commercial. If you have questions, start sending them up now because I've got about 3 more questions, and then I want to start taking questions from the audience. This forum is really for you, not for me. Raise your questions up so that they can collect them, okay?
Okay. Next question, and we're gonna start with you, Ray. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, and how do you plan to address those weaknesses?
I think our weakness right now is that I think that we need to make sure that we are fully using all of our committees to the greatest of their capabilities. I think right now a lot gets put on a certain committee or their expectations on that committee. And I think that I can help to work through that, again, as working as the middleman to make sure that things are spread around so that nobody feels that they are being spread too thin. So basically making sure that it's fair throughout the committees and that our committees are actually doing what they're in line to say that they're supposed to be doing. So, membership is doing what they should be doing as membership programs, and we're also stepping outside of that and creating those committees that should be in line as well. I know there are a few of the committees that we don't have online right now. I can't think of them right offhand, but I'm just thinking also like of mentorship programs that we could bring on board that kind of continuously, professionally develop those that we want to come on to the YP so that they feel again supported.
So when you talk about strengths of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, you have to look at the tables around you, right? Our true strengths is our young professional power in each and every one of you. And so you look at the opportunity to take that power and harvest it to move the organization from great to excellent is what we must do. We must look at the individual member and realize the strength within you and then utilize that power to move the organization forward accordingly. When you talk about our opportunities here, weaknesses are just opportunities for me, right? For you to move the organization forward and grow a little bit. We must do an organizational assessment to figure out the baseline of the organization and figure out what the individual members want. Back when I was the Personal and Professional Development Committee co-chair, we implemented a survey to ensure we knew what the members wanted to see in the program. We built the committees. All three committees are operating effectively, and we're working towards to put implementation measures in place that programming gets done. If you look at us delivering the promise, when people come to the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, they feel inspired, right? They feel inspired that they can grow both personally and professionally. One opportunity that we have to continue to grow on is our communication. Right, our communication has to get better. Ray is an amazing secretary who can increase our communication networks, right? But we have to build a team, and I think it gets down to the individual level. As I talk to you, some of you out there, some of you are amazing marketers, accountants, community development experts, bankers, right? And we must utilize those expertise because I can't do it on my own, Lauren can't do it on my own, Sharonda can't do it on her own, and we must create processes and networks to ensure that our weaknesses or our opportunities are addressed and not just saying,
That's
hey,
your time, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, any organization that you go into is going to have some strengths and some weaknesses. I think one of our weaknesses is that we're not utilizing the talents of the membership that are a part of our organization. There are so many people that are in the room right now that bring so much with them. If I needed something to do with health, then I know I need to make sure I'm calling upon Dr. Leslie. If I need something to do with finances, why wouldn't I make sure that I contact Ashley? Why wouldn't I make sure that if I need something on social media proofed, why wouldn't I contact Destiny in order to do that? The strength is in the room. It's just a matter of utilizing it and finding a way to cultivate it inside of this organization. I really do believe that everything we need is right here, but we have to find a way in order to harvest it so that this organization can continue to grow. As far as strengths go, I must admit, the membership committee is killing it right now. And also, there is a huge increase in membership with 90 plus members. Now we just need to make sure that we continue to grow upon One of my goals, if elected as your president, is to grow that beyond 150 plus people. I think that is doable. We said that we wanted 100 by the end of the year. I believe we're going to have it. We're going to speak that into existence right now. The people in this room are all connected to a different young professional who can also add to those strengths of this organization. And I know that that list is only going to continue to grow.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Okay, good. The next question, and it's gonna go Darnell, Lauren, Ray. What is your first order of business in your new role?
So my first order of business is really building out the team. Unfortunately, we have had an unprecedented election period. Prior to this, there was no competition to be the leadership of this organization. But unfortunately, we still have roles that need to be filled, right? And so my first order of business is to do a needs assessment of our organization to ensure that we know the individual profiles that are needed and the skill sets that are needed to fill those gaps, right, inside of our leadership. So we'll be tapping into all of the great potential in the room to figure out what is your shared vision of this organization and figuring out a way to put you to work, right? And so we have these structures of our committees which are very rigid. We got membership, we got programs, we got marketing. But for me and our leadership team, we collectively will figure out individual roles to put people to work, right? So if you're a data analyst like Rochelle, and then we're gonna make you a position to ensure that you can utilize that skill set to move the organization forward. So again, it's about doing an analysis of the organization and really figuring out where the gaps are. And I've done this before in the past. I currently do this with nonprofits all throughout the nation. And it's really important because sometimes you don't even realize the strengths of your organization until you do that initial assessment and the trajectory of your leadership. That's all.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yep. What is your first order of business in your new role?
Yes, I must agree. The first order of business is trying to fulfill the different roles that are still going to have a void after elections are done. I do believe that there are a lot of people that are in this room and a lot of people who are not in the room right now who will be available in order to fulfill those positions. And even though people can come into the position and think they may know who needs to be in those roles, I think that it needs to be opened up in order for everyone to have an opportunity in order to state whether or not they might be interested in that. We also have to find a way in order to figure out what we're going to do about the committees as well. I don't believe that that is something that only the president should be coming up with. That needs to be a corporate conversation. In order to make it a little bit easier, I think that the ELT should come together, figure out, okay, where else do we have voids at? We know that there's been some issues in which we're not doing as much professional development. Maybe there needs to be a professional development committee. Maybe we know that at the end of the day, we need to up our community initiatives. So maybe there needs to be a community engagement as well committee. We have an opportunity in order to change and shift the culture of this organization. But I do believe that it takes all of us coming together in order to figure out what makes that a success. And then hopefully your president in order to help lead that conversation.
I would like to, the first thing I would like to do is to make sure that we have a smooth, again, kind of going back to our transition with the Akron Urban League, I want to make sure that those who are transitioning into the Akron Urban League have a smooth transition there. But aside from that, I want to make sure that kind of what Lauren was saying, our committees, that they do feel supported. I would love to meet with them individually, those that are selected as co-chairs, to make sure that we have the same ideas in mind in terms of what organization looks like, in terms of the upcoming events that they have, just different ways to keep them on task. If that even looks like if we have continuous, like the same events that happen time and time again, if we have financial Fridays or something that we decide to do, making sure that we're staying on task and that we're set up for success with each of those committees that we have listed and those that we decide to cultivate and grow as well. I also think that we need to better our renewal process. So that's something that I definitely want to have my hand in. There are a lot of members that may not know that they're up for a renewal, and I want to have a hand in making sure that they are, in fact, made aware of that before the renewal time is set. So if you are due in July to renew, then you would get a reminder in June. So just little processes like that that can make the transition either into the guild or even into your next year smooth. The other thing that I think that was mentioned that could be very beneficial, and it just makes me think of what I do on a day-to-day, is just a continuous assessment, kind of what Darnell was saying, a survey that is sent out to our members. If it's on an annual basis, if it's twice a year, however frequently, to make sure that they feel that we are supporting them as best we can. Do you feel like we are catering to your needs as a young professional organization? Is there something that we can do better, more of, less of, our strengths and our weaknesses? That's something that I want to make sure that we're staying on top of, so that everybody does feel like they have a voice.
Thank you. Okay, we are now going to move into the audience questions because some of you have asked a question that I had last on my list, so that's a perfect transition. You will still have 2 minutes to answer the audience questions.
Is there like one person?
You can go first. You have the mic, so you go first.
Thank you.
Question, and then we'll just rotate. So you'll go first, Ray will go first, Lauren will go first. Just go after. Okay? Does that make sense? The first question from the audience is, how will your personal lives interfere with let me rephrase that. How, with your personal lives, will you have time to do the things that you need to do and continue the success of this organization? Let me know if you need me to rephrase that.
No, I think I understand that. And so one of my strengths has always been time management, right? And so going through the University of Akron and being a first generation college student, I had to work like 5 jobs going through school and be a full-time student. I was the trustee appointed by the governor of Ohio to the board of trustees. So I always had to manage like 5 things at one time. But my passion leads my service to this organization. My passion, knowing that this program, this organization, these people, the people who are going to serve in the future, are too important to this community to ever let the ball drop. One thing that everyone knows about me is I'm going to show up on a daily basis. I'm going to be energized and I'm going to be ready to work, right? Now, work hard, play hard, and that is my commitment. But it's all about utilizing your team as well. So me knowing how to build teams, knowing how to strengthen teams, and knowing how to leverage resources, you have to know how to execute programs. You have to know how to execute initiatives with the least possible resistance and really rely on your team to help you move the ball over the finish line. It's not just going to be on me, but for me, I'm used to juggling 5 things at one time. So ensuring that my passion leads my service to the people is how I'll stay motivated. I'll be quite honest with you. This work that all of us do, some people inside of the audience right now do, it's hard work, right? We put up a lot of hours to it. But me, I'm committed to you, I'm committed to this community, and I'm committed to this organization and helping it move forward to bring as many people under our fold to help them with their personal and professional development growth in whatever way they see fit, right? And they can utilize the programs that we have, the programs that the Urban League has, and really, really, really capitalize on its success. And you talk about the mission of the Urban League, it's about advancing Black people, right?
That's your time, thank you.
So my personal time, managing my personal time, this is something that is very important to me. I am the mom to a 3-year-old, so he keeps me busy all the time, so no doubt there that is my number one priority. But on top of that, even with him being 3 years old, I want to make sure that I'm setting the example so that he sees that I am called to serve. So when mommy is going out doing these different things, going to these organizations that she's a part of, she's serving in her community and she's making her community better by doing that. With that, yes, time management and commitment are very important, but your success is my success. So I think that beholding that at the forefront and knowing that I have a team as awesome as you all to kind of back me if I do feel like I'm being spread a little bit too thin, knowing that I have a team that can jump in and help me is something that is very inspiring and exciting for me. I also just like to consider the fact that when you do start something or when you take on a new role, at the beginning, it's you setting yourself up. So it could look like me applying more hours or more time in that area to become familiar with what that role requires and also getting it to function like a well-oiled machine, so that may look like more work at the front end, but me being able to know that after those conversations I've had with committees or once we've gotten things going and rolling, that it's easier to do because we've all again been kind of working together and have that open communication to keep things in line.
So I'm a single parent to a 4-year-old. Toddlers are fun, but at the same time, I'm so thankful for my village. My village allows me to be able to continue to go forth because they know at the end of the day that I have a calling. And that I have to make sure that I'm making good in order to make sure that my son is taken care of, because I'm the only person that he can rely on at the end of the day. So I don't believe that personal life has ever been something that has gotten in the way of my professional life. Even just a month ago, I lost my mother. And in the midst of all of that, I wanted to shut down. Who wouldn't want to shut down? But I had to keep pushing forward, because I have a little boy who's looking at me at the end of the day. And I have people that are relying on me. And I have constituents who are connected to my bosses who need my answers. So things still go forward. No matter what is happening in your personal life, you have to create priorities and figure out where those priorities lie. And if this is a priority for you, you'll make sure that things are completed. And because this has been a priority for me as a membership chair, I'm making sure that the work is getting done.
Next question states, as a new member, or for the new members, how do you plan to incorporate and encourage volunteerism in the movement if they decide that a board position or a committee chair position is not feasible for them?
I think that comes with, we discussed, I know on our membership committee before, developing a mentorship program, and that to me looks like someone that, basically I'll go back to the survey piece. So in my mind, what I'd like to develop is once you sign up for our program online, then you have a selection of stating what you're interested in. You are then paired up with a mentor that'll kind of guide you through that process through your first year of being a member on board. So I think that would kind of hopefully rid that fear or that discouragement, but I also want to make sure that we're checking up on our members, so not just allowing them to be a member and that's it, or fall into one of these other committees, but again, making sure that they do feel heard and a part of our organization. So making sure that that doesn't work for them makes me think of that mentorship program, so making sure that they do have somebody that's walking alongside them and also providing them with all the tools and equipping them with all that the YPs and the Guild have to offer.
Yes, I think that you're never going to find every person that's a part of an organization that's willing to do the same as the others. Some of us have more time in order to commit, some of us don't have as much time, and I'm sure there's some people who want to make sure that this is on their resume as well, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I do believe that there are some people who want to take a more active role, and that's where personal and professional development come into play. If we are allowing that, if we're doing these strengths and weaknesses finders, if we're making sure that we're actually meeting our members exactly where they are, we can allow them to elevate and get to the spaces that they really want to be in, and that strengthens the organization as a whole. When I first came in, I was a member. I didn't want a title. Many of you have heard this story many times before. I felt like I didn't need a title in order to do the work. And that's how I am in many spaces. I just want to make sure that things are getting done and that I fill the voids. However, I felt the need this year with FIT in order to co-chair the membership committee because that's where my heart was. And I could see that there was definitely a void in which we needed to fill. And I was thankful for being able to do that. There's somebody else that's going to be in that space too, and we have to find them. And it sometimes only takes one conversation or just one class or one mentor in order to speak with them, in order to get them to where they want to be.
And so when you talk about new members are too important to the organization to ever let them be without the services that we provide and the programming we provide. So one of the things when I became the vice president of the organization is I was able to put operating procedures in place to ensure that new members had what's called an orientation per se. So the Akron Urban League would send them out a letter with a pen. We would then add them to the group me and put in procedures in place to ensure that it's not just, hey, we'll get to them, right? But when you talk about new members and what keeps new members, what retains new members, an orientation is necessary and proper. We must have a formal orientation system that takes place for every single member. We must deliver the promise to our members about getting involved in personal and professional development, educational opportunities, and different opportunities to volunteer and really give back, or whatever their vision is for the organization. We must deliver that promise within 30 days, or we know that our members have the likeliness of not being engaged in the programs. Also, we must connect individuals to committees. The sooner you are connected to a committee, as you can see, Lauren and Vic have built a membership committee that is a family. When I was the personal professional development committee co-chair, we were a family. We know that retention is based off your engagement of the organization. So the sooner that we can get you involved in a committee structure, or the sooner we do an assessment of your skill set and create a structure for you to serve in, the more that we can retain you in our organization, and you'll serve up until you go on to move to the guild. But again, it's about orientation, it's about delivering that promise within 30 days, and it's about connecting individuals to their shared visions through our committee structures. Thank you.
I have 1 minute and 59 seconds. I love it.
I'm getting good at this.
All right, so next question. The AULYP had a great conference this year. How would you like to see that conference grow? Darnell's the first person to answer, then Ray, then Lauren.
So I get so excited talking about this conference, right? I think we have our former president, Mr. Curtis Mentor, in the room. And Curtis had this vision of this conference that we would bring like-minded individuals for a day of personal and professional development, of networking. And so our leadership team got together and we raised like $15,000. But this is just the start, right? And remember, we're going to take this organization from great to excellent. So we have to continue to partner with like-minded organizations inside of our community. So bringing in the Canton organizations, bringing in the Cleveland organizations, and bringing in the organizations right here in Akron to continue to collaborate to bring more people into the fold. We have to increase fundraising. We have to increase the programming that we have at the conference and continue to build upon that legacy that we built in our first annual conference, right? And so it's some keys, and it's all about knowing who to put in place and what their strengths are, right? And so when you look at our membership and you look at the leadership collectively, the staff of the Urban League, the guild as a whole, we have so many different resources, we have talents, we have treasures to really elevate that conference, right? But it's going to take all of you, or some of you, all of you being on the conference committee will be a lot, but I'm open to it. But it takes all of you to getting involved in our conference, right? Because the people who were involved last year, we took it to the place that we can go, right? We built it up from nothing. Now it's really, again, time to take it from great to excellence through collaboration, through organizational processes to ensure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. What's going on? Oh, am I out? Oh, our T's are crossed, because the conference is a lot of work. But when you talk about one of my pillars, which is a sustainable financial structure, that was a key fundraiser for the organization that we must continue applying.
I gave you 5 extra seconds because you looked at me.
I appreciate you. You're a scholar and a lady.
All right, next person.
I personally have to say, I enjoyed the conference because I was able to gain so much knowledge about those that are in our community and just how much talent we actually have, not only in our room, but also in our community. I think that our next conference, we need to make sure that we're focusing on building the awareness so that we can have an even larger turnout, more of an understanding as to what is expected of our conference, what people can get out of our conference, whether that's working with our marketing committee and advertising even further out, but just really building that awareness of what we expect for our, from our conference. What is our theme for the conference? What do we plan on capturing from our members? And again, I keep going back to it, but surveys, we want to hear your voices. We want to know what it is that you want to see from the conference. You're coming and you're spending your money and your time and your efforts in this conference. What can you capture from it? What are you looking to get from it that you didn't see this year? So really listening to you all, taking that into consideration, and then making sure that we're applying that for the upcoming opportunity to have that next year. Again, I thought it was wonderful, especially one of my favorite parts was probably the breakout sessions and having the opportunity to hear from different individuals and being able to select if I want to learn more about financial wellness, if I want to learn about grant writing, if I want more professional development. I think that was great. We could do another an even better job next year in harboring that even better.
AULYP had a great conference this year. How would you like to see that conference grow?
I think that one of the biggest ways I would like to see that conference grow is from the inside out. I'm going to keep talking about how we need to cultivate the talents of the membership, because I just think that so many of you are bringing so much to the table. And if we are able to utilize that and to put that on the forefront, then it helps you to grow and it helps our organization to grow as a whole. So I would like to see more of the YPs that are experienced in different spaces being the ones who are teaching and moderating the discussions. I want to make sure also that, just like Sharonda said, that we are finding a way in order to create a larger presence so that we can have greater participation in the program as well. And I also want to make sure that we're bringing in community partners. I do believe that there are definitely different community partners who do want to be a part of this, but we have to make sure that we're marketing it in a way for them and where they understand that this does have value and that the members of this organization have value as well. I love that it was at the University of Akron. Thank you for that, Darnell. I think that was a great partnership. I hope that that one will continue to grow. I would also like to see different parts of that as well, like the opening reception being outside of the Urban League in a bigger space, something different. But I do see definitely the potential of the conference continuing to grow, and that definitely being a big flagship for us.
Question. If you are not elected, how do you plan to continue to support the Urban League Young Professional and its strategies?
If I'm not elected, I will definitely make sure I continue to support all of the initiatives that are here. Once again, when I first joined, I didn't think that it was important in order to have a specific role in order for me to do the work. I want that role now. I want that role now, don't get me wrong. But either way, I'm going to continue to do the work because I'm committed to the city, I'm committed to my community, and I'm committed to the people that are in this room. So many of you were brought into the fold, and I've had an opportunity to engage with, to meet with. I understand the time, the talent, the treasures that you use to support this organization on a regular basis. And I want to be a part of that. Honestly, it's addictive. If I think about what Rachel said at the Elevate to Lead conference, I'm seduced by the possibilities of what we can do as an organization. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great year with or without me in that seat, but it might be a little bit better if you elect me as your president.
And so if I'm not elected as the president, I think we need to take this back and I need to tell you about my passion, right? And so when I was a student at the University of Akron, I came here with a bin full of clothes. I didn't have a jacket to put on. And so I would go out in the community and I would go to interviews and I was turned down because I didn't have dress clothes, right? But then I learned something about the career clothing closet. And I was the leader of a student organization on campus. And then I learned that you could get free dress clothes to go to job interviews and to go to work with. And so what I did was bus and carpool my student organization to the Urban League's closet to get free clothes, right? And that was passion. I didn't hold no title. I didn't have any stake in them getting free clothes. All I know is that the young brothers at the University of Akron had a competitive disadvantage because they didn't have dress clothes. And the Urban League was full of resources. And so my passion stems from that and knowing the true nature of the necessity of the services. And so wherever I could do to serve Lauren as a president or the organization as a whole, I'll be here because my passion is not tied into what we're doing currently, right? I got a passion from the organization because of its ability to take someone suffering from poverty, suffering from being a first-generation college student, and take them and provide them resources to take them from great to excellent. And so that's what my commitment is to you. And the only thing I can plan if you come on board with this thing is that you won't get paid and that we work long hours, but my passion is there and I'm gonna be ready to show up for you every single day in the capacity that I'm honored to serve all of you.
Well, I'm running unopposed, so I really do hope that I am. I'm called to serve. You know, I'm called to serve. I can't say it enough. I have a lot of ideas, and I wanted to be selected as the secretary because I have so many ideas, and I think that in this role I'd be able to implement them. But if I'm not secretary, I'm just gonna be bugging ELT because I have ideas. So I would love to just continue to serve you all and to hear out your ideas and to put them at the forefront and let you know that you are being heard, and let's figure out how to, get that into play. If it's not now, let's determine how or when. Let's, put together different notes, compare notes, and really get it out there. Because I'm called to serve y'all. I don't know how else to say it or put it, but I am.
Okay, last question. It's a two-part question, so I'm gonna give you 2.5 minutes, but this is the last one. Okay, we're gonna start with Sharonda and go straight down. It's a two-part question, so write down the part, so you don't remember. Okay? First part, how can you leverage your network to get YP's name out in the community? Second part, why should we vote for you? 2.5 minutes each candidate. Again, when you're ready.
I think that you should vote for me because I joined, I think, YP's almost a year ago now, and the fire from the membership committee is what really made me want to get my hands dirty and dig in and become a part of something that's greater than me. And I wanted to get the word out to all the young professionals that I knew that they need to become a part of this organization. So I think that voting for me is just that. I think that I'm the example of the young professional that just shows you that, this is what it looks like to be, I guess, on fire, excited as a YP, and just to kind of use that influence to continue to cultivate our membership and grow our membership. Using my network looks like me using my resources. I feel like I know people in just about every different field that could find an advantage in our community that we've developed, but I can also use them to enhance and further grow what we have here already. I love the point that Lauren made about cultivating our talents, and I think that that's something that's amazing, and that looks like us catering different opportunities to those talents that we have. Further making sure that your voices again are heard, developing those mentorship programs, guiding you through your young professional journey, transitioning you into the guild, making sure that you feel comfortable and confident when you do go over to the guild to know that your professional talents that were harbored and cultivated here will still be used there. So that's a way that I think that I would really be able to utilize my network, is by valuing those resources that we have and continuing to grow and expand, not only to build a membership in numbers, because it's one thing to just have somebody sign up for YP and never be heard from again, but actually continuing to strengthen those relationships and making sure that you all feel like this is not just a professional organization, but we are in fact the YP family.
And so when you talk about helping get the name out of the Akron Urban League Young Professionals, I turn this over and say, right now we have the combined networks of about 100 people, right? And so we have to equip our individual members about how to be advocates or evangelicals of the movement, right? And move the organization forward. We have to teach you about our elevator speech. What is the value proposition of our organization, right? And so I can't do it on my own, and I'm gonna need all of your help. And how that works is through operational excellence. So we have to ensure that our marketing team is firing on all cylinders. We have to ensure that we have an amazing secretary in place to ensure that the communication pathways are fulfilled. And we have to continue to cultivate the younger generation. Right now, we have a membership gap in younger people aged 21 through 30. And we have to fill that, right? We have to fill that. The majority of the membership are close to aging out. So we have to utilize our networks and our teams to be able to get the name of the young professionals out. Why would you vote for me as president? And so for me, one, I'm passionate about the work. I'm going to show up every day and be a servant leader to what your shared vision of the organization is. But we must increase membership. We must create growth through partnership. We must create sustainable financial structures for our organization. And I ask all of you to envision an Akron Urban League Young Professionals that has 200 plus members, that has 50,000 hours of community service, that raises over $20,000 for the collective good of our individual members, and be a national leader in the National Urban League Young Professionals as a model to bring people in, to develop them as people, as professionals, and to ensure that they leave this organization better than they came in it. And we must do that through the processes and the time, the talents, and the treasures of our organization, right? What does it look like for the Akron Young Professionals to be the leader in the community for voter registration and tied into our national mission of advocacy? What that looks like is all of us individually coming together, uniting to take this organization from great to excellent. And I hope that you'll all vote for me as president so I can serve you all in doing so. Thank you.
I believe that leveraging your network in order to grow this organization is definitely something that is needed. I can remember one time somebody came up to me and said, I just realized what one of your biggest strengths is. I said, well, what's that? He said, you're a connector. And I started to realize I am. I believe in social equity. I believe in making sure that people understand that sometimes the person you need is connected to another person, but you need to make sure you figure out how to get connected to that person. Summit County is resource rich, and Akron is even richer if you really look into things, but people don't know where those resources are. And honestly, some of those resources are right here in this room. So I plan to leverage my network in order to make sure that we have the ability to get those resources, that our family and friends have the ability to get those resources, and that the community can get those resources too. Working as the clerk of Summit County Council, I have the ability, in order to be able to be connected to many different politicians on a regular basis, politicians that have ideas, politicians that make the policies in order to make sure our everyday lives are going to be okay. And then also, I'm the pianist of a church, so I'm connected to many different churches as well, and to many different musicians and people in the arts. So you never know when somebody that is a part of my network is going to be needed for a part of your network, and that helps us both to grow together. Reasons why you should vote for me. I'm passionate, I believe in progress, and I'm a professional. I'm definitely very passionate about this organization. I might not be the best public speaker, I might not be the best person in the room, but I do believe I am the best person for this role. And I will make sure that I'm held accountable at all acts and every stage. So please think about what you want in a leader. And I hope that it's somebody like me at the end of the day. And if you have any questions, we have until 11:59 p.m. today for you to ask them to me, because I want to do whatever I can in order to earn your vote and for you to see my vision for this organization as a whole.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to all our speakers. I want to thank our candidates for following the rules and procedures today. I didn't have to be the mean moderator, so I appreciate that. Speaking of rules, like Lauren stated, the campaigns are done at 11:59 p.m. So get on your phones and make those calls before the end of the night tonight. We've also had some mishaps with all parties so far with social media. Please make sure that you guys review the campaign handbooks to make sure that we're following the campaign rules. The voting will start at 8 p.m. This evening, and will close on September 24th, so you have a few days to vote. In addition to that, if you have updated your email and have been a financial member since July 11th, you need to let us know immediately so that we can give you access to vote. A lot of your email addresses have been bouncing back when we're sending out communications from the elections committee, so make sure that you let us